fucking did it, you beautiful little dudes. Cut the bad guy in half. Let's take a look at the turn. Alright, so I had a wild gambit that I was going to hit him in the capital, and also if I took one other province, I would be cutting 2/3 of his empire off from any access to forts and income, and I would completely destroy his income. So this is the other province. If you hit with two armies of Black Hawks at once, they join each other. They're both attacking the same big 80-man troop. So that's what I've done right here. And he has a big defense, but not necessarily big enough to deal with 80 Black Hawks. So that's where we're looking here. But like, you see all these guys running away. It's still not an easy fight there. I got his king, but I was down to less than half my troops when I did it. There, he's routed. So I take this one province, which is kind of some kind of a key crossroads of his entire empire. His south part of his empire had two provinces that are like key to holding the whole place together, and this was one of them. And I discovered if I got rid of this province, and I did another nasty, audacious thing, he would have a real problem on his hands. This is the other nasty, audacious thing. This army was only moving one square a turn because it had one old mage with it. And he clearly wasn't accounting for it suddenly being able to move fast. But here we are, jumping over one of his provinces to attack his capital with Wind Guide. It's a lovely, lovely Wind Guide. Look at them all hitting. Not too many kills, but a lot of wounds that we'll be killing later. There's a rout. Old Pangaeas routed. So between these two battles, let's see, yeah. Alright, let me jump to a fresh map again 1 second. So between those two battles, the map suddenly looks like this. He has this fort right here, but otherwise I cannot see any forts, and I see most of his empire. Now this whole empire here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 provinces, which are not connected to this fort because I've cut his supply lines right there, or his capital, which is under siege. So according to my calculations, unless if he has a fort I don't know about here or here, he's not getting any income from any of this, meaning that his only income generating provinces are this one, this one, this one, and this one, which I think is the case. I've been talking to Helheim. Helheim was a bit weird and cagey about it late in the night, but he did not account for any northerly fortresses up in these parts, which should mean that I've pulled it off, and his treasury box this turn, the fresh turn should hit with a 0 up there, and in fact event messages that he can't feed his armies, which is a big deal. Now anytime we kill someone, he can't replace them, at least for now, and that should be a pretty good winning the war kind of a move. So let me now show you the turn as it is. See you in a sec. Okay, so real life isn't very conducive to me right now, but I should have a minute here to walk you through the turn. It's already processed, and I haven't downloaded the next turn yet. So the big deal, according to everyone else in the game, for my particular turn, whatever it is, 25 I guess, is that I'm about to cast the world spell to end the burden of time. So the way I did this was I alchemized a couple of more water gems. I kind of blasted my water gem income this turn with alchemy. So that gets me up from 105 to 107. Now, I cast a spell at 107 because I figured if I was at 105, more likely to get over his number if I push it up to a not even number, so I did this. Cast a spell at 107. Bam. Now, next turn we see if that went off. In the meantime, the war continues. Basically, while I was cutting him in half, he was being a bit aggressive as well. And his main army has moved to there, so it wasn't actually as aggressive as if he'd attacked me. And this small army has jumped to here. And I don't really know how he did it, because these two provinces don't link. So he probably snuck past Gnome King Mountains, or something. But in any case, I think he probably snuck under my Yatspur horn and jumped to there. However he did it, he's here. And I'm worried about him moving on my capital in 2 turns. But he's a kind of a small force. Hopefully I'll manage it, but it's going to take some effort. So this guy moves there. And then he is joined by one, because he's a bunch of archers. So I cast Wind Guide with, I guess, this guy, or one of these guys. Also have a few scrappy dudes hanging out here. They're right there. I move them there. I also move this guy because my archers are holy, and those two will be blessing. Then in this province, I already have all these guys sitting here ready to cast. I've just, along with getting the spell, of course, I got Horde of Skeletons. So I'm going to have a Skeleспam campaign there. And the way I got a bunch of skeleton mages is I brought back all my site searchers, because I'm nearly done with site searching. I'll switch over now to doing it with spells. These guys are done. I also moved this guy. And I moved my god. So this is why I'm casting it with that little Astral 3 mage instead of the god, is because he's definitely not expecting me to be able to use my god this turn. But I can, and I will. So god goes there. Now here I have 6 Skelly Spammers, this guy who'll give my god body ethereal, and the god who will cast Curse of Stones mainly, and generally be a nuisance to everyone in that battle. So I'm hoping either of these 2 locations I'll defeat what he's got. And I have PD in both of them. Now here, I'm going to take this little army I've been setting up, which is my sneakers. There's a sneaky general here. Could have sworn it. There he is. So sneaky general plus sneaky troops. And probably they're just going to be taking the province back from him, but it's possible they'll have to fight him. It's around 40, a bit less than 40 of these guys. 37. And they are going to start rolling out and causing trouble. But for now, they are going to take back that province, cut off his retreat, while one of these 2 armies takes him out. It's very possible he could do something else. But how I played it was to put forces in these 3 provinces. Now over here, these 2 guys, I sent them home. I think I sent them to forts. So something like that. I figured if I were him, I would take this small force, attack there. So go boop. And then I would take this big force and go there. This is a key province for him. He needs to own this province. So he could run on my capital. In fact, it would be the better play, but I'm guessing he's going to go there and then next turn attack his own capital. So what I did was I have all these guys down here. I had been planning on running around going south with them. Not, in fact, going to happen. They are going to join the war. So they all went north like that. And they're hopefully enough to take out these non-holy raiders. This province, the problem is I lost my 1 mage who's there. So I take this particular guy, give him, I think I gave him like this. And then he cloud trapezed to there. So now they have their wind guide. They'll even have Curse of Stones if they want it. And these guys are going to hold out there for 1 turn. They're probably going to get hit by this and whatever is in the capital. And the next turn, his big army, or some bigger, scarier force, is going to be ready to hit that. So he teleports in now. The next turn, we all bail. I also send this guy up there as a backup. And then one final move, which was cheeky, is like this. So I have another of these little dudes, this guy. And this is where I get more alchemy, unfortunately, and blast my water gem income. I do this. So, boom, 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 boom. Water gem's down to 16. And then, boom, boom, boom. So I use way more air than I have. Next turn I'm going to try and use like basically as none as I can. But what he can do is Call of the Winds here. So this one has very little defense for some reason. And if he takes this, but then this guy is planning to go there, then if I go there, even when he loses this, he's still cut off. So now he's really starting to die of strangulation. That's what I'm doing, and he is even considering to go there. And then basically he comes here the turn they leave there. So we're gonna, between the three of us, we're gonna keep him permanently strangled, starting with me. So that is more or less my turn of war. In terms of what else I'm doing, this guy's come online, and I should have gotten this guy a long time ago because A, he has a lot to do. He is going to hold that hammer forever, or for a long time, and forge a lot of things. Starting with Boots of the Messenger. Boots of the Messenger are excellent. They give me reinvig and they also speed me up. So all these old doddering fools who are slow, Boots of the Messenger, or Earth Boots, but they're always going to be wearing boots. Now, my other... what did I do? How did I do this? I think I maybe didn't send this guy? No, this is a problem with doing it a bit later. I can't quite recall because I also, for sure, forged myself another hammer. So I'm up to 3 next turn, which will be nice. Eventually, I mean, I'll just keep on slowly building up more. And then the next hammer, I'll forge another boots, send these boots to war. So that's pretty cool. If he successfully gets there or there, then I'll run away with all these guys, but I haven't done it yet. Now I also take this guy, who's useless to everyone, give him my new thing. So I kind of thought maybe it's stupid to get this window thing, the astral window spell, but it's really not. This is actually much needed because I'm going to take a look at every throne around me, figure out my long-term plan. Finally, this guy, while I'm here, jumps to there, and this completes my view of my east and southeast. And I'm just going to keep all those guys sitting around there. This is more or less it for my home front. I have another guy here. Yeah, here's what I do. This guy jumps to there, and then the guy who is there jumps to there. Bam. You might be hearing my dogs. I apologize for that. I've gotten home to Kenya. This is why my real life is busy. But this guy will jump to here. And if you wonder why I'm living in Kenya, that's why they call me colonial. So this is... I think that's more or less it for this turn, at least of the key pieces. This guy is going to slowly migrate to there. It's going to take him 2 turns. And yeah, so now I'll play the turn. I might actually record again tonight. This guy, I just got this guy this turn. He's a cool little dude. He is a Bishop General of Ind, but he's an H2, which is hard for me to find. He's a leadership 80, which is hard for me to find. So he's going to be in charge of this particular army right here. I'm going to upgrade this Crystal Priestess to him, get lines on the go. I'll probably give him a hat of Commanding Undead, and he's going to be in charge of my Guarding the Heart army. So there's a lot of stupid little things need to be done to keep the turn together. Like, for example, caps lock. But yeah, basically in terms of my research, it wasn't actually at this number because there's a fair few more people I need to click research on. But I'm going to finish up in Evocation 3 and then get to, I believe, Alteration 5. Although it's possible that I didn't do it right and I'm going to get Conjuration 4, in which case, so be it. Because I was pretty tired last night. But that being said, I will let you go for now, and I will see you in a hot minute. Ciao. Alright, this should be turn 26. So last turn I cast, of course, my Dispel. And the good news is Mr. Pud got rid of Burden of Time. So that's one less thing. I was also trying to hold his capital, but unfortunately I forgot that he has Seduction. So he just hit me with a bunch of assassins. And he more or less took out all of my generals before the battle, which I had not anticipated. I would have probably had to have done things differently had I thought of that. Also, I lost all my scripting because he killed my general. So we seem to be walking. It's a mess. It's technically a giant stupid mess. I also lost my wind guide, I believe. Yeah, he took out my prophet and a giant Harab Elder. This would not have been able to take me if I'd had my scripting and my wind guide and all. But the world is what it is and not what you want it to be. So I killed a bunch of Maenads, but I lost bunch of way more valuable stuff than his Maenads. We won't watch the whole thing, it's stupid. His super guys get the win. I also tried to drop, I keep giving away the game with the word try, so I dropped this on a shitty PD province, but I guess in this particular case I just got unlucky because, come on man, his one little stupid head seems to have won the day. So with those two he gets back his ability to get money. But that's alright, cutting him off from his entire income. Yeah, look at this, and we're gonna watch this out because how the hell do I lose? I think these guys trample. I think they're quite effective against my birds. Yeah, look at that. Bad news for everyone. Okay, I think these two I'm just poking at them. Oh no, excuse me, this is a real battle. I shouldn't have showed you that. So basically, I also tried to defend this particular province, if you recall. And as you saw a minute ago, this one was finally some good news. Because he has a pretty weak force here. I mean, I'm not great against cavalry, but I have him quite outnumbered. So, and his cavalry aren't that strong. They're archers, technically. And my guys keep running away. I think I'm going to try and need to work on their morale, because this time I even gave them a morale boost of 1, and they still, a lot of them fled. And come barbs. Barbs are going to help. Barbs really helped. Look at that. All dead. And this one here, I think I'm just... Oh yeah, this one here is his big army. This is a good one to watch. Against my nothing. Caleb is routed. So these little white dudes are everyone's biggest problem. Alright, that's all the battles. So I held on to one province. One I knew I was going to lose, and then I had two unfortunate events. It means I didn't get to press my advantage, but I did get my dispel. So basically this turn wasn't that good. I didn't give enough time to it, basically, and I'm kind of getting back on top of giving enough time to my turns from now. I did get some air gems, that's nice, and I got some other gems, including a much needed astral pearl. Also this. So I'm going to march on that province this turn. Let me deal with my dogs, and I will show you my moves afterwards. Alright, the dog is still here, but hopefully he won't bother me. So aside from me losing my wall of doom, it was a good turn in the war because Mr. Marignon over here has been delivering the mail. I also looked up here, and I saw that not only does he not have a castle, he actually doesn't own any provinces I hadn't been looking at. I guess he just lost this one. So now what I want to do is let other people deal with his big army for a minute, and I want to get my income back online by conquering. So, with that in mind, these guys take this thing, or march on this thing. These guys, this is a lot of my troops that just defended Elven March, retreated. They are going to attack him there. I have a few new guys coming online. So I'm going to take two small little forces like that. Oh yes, one good thing I'm doing that I'm happy about is starting to use these birds who have survived as generals. So I have more generals in play than I've had in the past. So I'm hitting that, and that. This also will give me the income of this. So together I should radically improve both my air gem income and my gold income. I'm guessing he is going to move there, but if he starts coming back causing me trouble, it's going to be trouble. I also grab whatever I've just produced over here. There. He is going to grab everyone who's left in this province, which is quite a big army. So next turn, hopefully, I'll have 3 armies ready to go. And I want to just conquer this whole region, deny him income, get my income, not really try and fight a war, more just mop up. One thing you notice is that there was a troop here that I never fought against. So they're sneaky and they've gone underground. So he's either there or there. He could pop up in my capital or in this particular province or possibly somewhere else. So what I'm doing is these guys who are here are going to patrol. And maybe catch him sneaking. Whereas in my capital, well, what I'm going to do as well is all these guys here are in danger. So they are going to get their butts out of danger. But, so they're going to run to the capital. They're going to move and patrol. Move and patrol is always a boss move. You're basically getting 2 actions out of a given troop in a turn. These guys are going to join them to the capital. They're also going to move and patrol. So this is now a bunch of astral mages rolling into my capital. And basically, we're looking at 4 new sages with astral 1 and 3 new crystal priestesses with astral 1 holy 1. And what I do is the 4 sages become communion slaves, the 3 priestesses become communion masters, and that gets them up to holy 3. I get a battery of smites. So they're going to start really whacking smites. And in fact, there's one crystal priestess sitting in my capital. She joins the fight as a patroller. And she takes all my troops that are lying around in the capital, which are some holies. I also send this guy home for blessings and sermon of courage. This guy also has to get away. He is going there. So this province, I'm not defending it much. I could lose it, but it will be a minimal loss if I do. I'm expecting him to march on my capital and to be surprised by suddenly a bunch of air smites hitting his guys. And his guys are pretty strong, but they'll go down to like 2 or 3 smites each. There's only 12 of them. I have 4 smiters. So I'm hopeful, and I have my capital province defense, which is something. So I'm hoping I can win that fight by surprise without really investing anything in it because of the move patrol ability. The other battle this turn is over here. So these militias are specialists in breaking siege. They are going to sit around, whereas these actual fighters are going to storm the castle. I mean, I'm kind of good at sieges because I can fly over the walls. So it's going to be about like hitting an indie province, except he's been sitting there starving and getting burdened of time now for like nearly, I guess, over 2 years. And if that doesn't work, I'll invest more in it. Having these guys sitting out the front will be good for, even if I lose, I don't have to re-siege the place. Now, what else am I up to this turn? Yes, I have 3. Well, one thing is I do some site searching of bits and pieces. So over here, these 2 guys site search. Oh, actually, here's what I've done with this guy. He's site searching, and he is scripted to retreat in case he does hit this province. And if he does, he might go somewhere else useful. Like he could site search that. More likely, he'll just fly somewhere home after. Yeah, so in terms of my forging, he is going to grab one of these Horns of Valor, which is also going to be very useful. I just mentioned that my guys are suffering from morale. Horn of Valor will be a step in the direction of fixing that. And then my other 2... Okay, this guy is gonna forge a skull staff. So I'm basically getting together everything else I need. All the other level 4s that it would be nice to have around the place. This guy is going to forge winged boots, which it's kind of silly I don't have yet. But they'll be much needed now. Basically, if I win this, I can winged boots one of these guys in to build stuff, and then winged boots my general out. If I lose it, I'll probably do something different. And then this particular guy here, where is he? Oh, this guy, these 2 guys will not forge. They will continue building me my lovely Frankensteins. So this turn is kind of a turn of rebuilding after I invested a huge amount, broke his back, but also exhausted myself. This guy is going to give them a general, which is a revived king. That's why I built him. And you see this land has no... It's a bad place to be researching because it has no magic scales somehow. It's not in my domain. So this guy is going to Arcane Probe, and he's going to hit this province, which feels like it should have... It has 0 things and it should have 1. Probably also true of this province, but first of all I'll do that one. Up here, he just got a disease. He just dispelled and then got a disease. This is also why I'm building my skull staff. There's a chance I can get together a cure for his disease in time. But, what is it? He is going to search for magic sites. Because there's still no magic sites here, I'll look at fire. He is going to my astral window thing. Is going to see what's going on here, I believe. But also, I'm just taking a scout around the caves a bit more seriously, because I'm wondering if this early age Zabalba is tiny and I could just munch him. With that in mind, this guy jumps to there. Although I'm thinking I need someone to jump to there. Because if that's not, like if this is all Zabalba, I can't really do much. But if someone else holds that, or that, which are both places I can get to in the above ground, then Zabalba's tiny, and I'm going to probably want to go get a little snack in the underground. One good thing about the underground, of course, is I'm desperate for death gems, and that's where you find them. So that's all the big power moves this turn, if I'm not mistaken. I'm wondering what else I got up to. Yeah. Otherwise, so I'm basically, he's gonna hit him, start causing some drama, but both of these two are gonna start eating his northerly lands while I eat his southerly lands. And I should be not too heavily opposed while I just go munching on a bunch of indies, a bunch of green lands. Okay, the one final thing is that I witnessed a battle over here, which makes me think that Archiskephli might be about to collapse, in which case I'll ask his blessing to gobble up his land as well. So I might eat some light blue lands alongside my green and gray. And if I have enough time, which I'm just going to unilaterally declare that I do, it'll be fun to watch this particular battle. It's kind of a tragic case for Archiskephli, but we know that he is basically incapable of fighting the giants. This is a shining army of Greeks versus a big pile of Anakites. So I'm not involved. We're looking at what other people are up to. Looking for high level. I might be one of the best researched guys in the game right now, so we're looking for high level spells coming out. Legions of Steel, nothing too impressive just yet. He's lucking up everyone. There's some level I haven't seen really above 4. There's a Fireflies, never a good sign. 3, yeah, everything's 3 and 4 more or less. That's slow. That's low level as well. Mind Burn. So here's Anakites. That one's beaten up. Let's see an Anakite. Stats are high. I mean, he has Battle Fright, so the morale is quite a bit higher than that. Protection of 18 is good. I mean, I'm late age, so it's not that impressive looking for me, but I'm also bad at protection for the late age. He has larger, Blood Surge, resistances, everything except fire, and then some MR and some attack. But he comes with a native fire resistance. So if I have to fight the Anakites, it's going to be a problem, but a lot of people are fighting the Anakites, and I don't border them. So yeah, basically, the Greeks spent a huge amount of time designing a perfect army, whereas the Anakites, just at the beginning of the game, spent a lot of time designing a perfect bless, and then just threw a glob at him. And glob is going to kick his ass. I don't know where his god is. His god already... No, his god's right there. But he just doesn't have the damage dealing potential to break through the Anakites' defense and hit points. Like, look at this hit points. That is a terrifying number, even strength as well. Giants, of course, are always going to be very strong in hit points and strength. He's doing a lot of pull from the grave, which is good because, I mean, it's a good strategy because he's doing a lot of Skelos spam. But Flying Shards is not something anyone should ever cast. So he has some weaknesses as well. I think he has a pretty bad... Look at this. 3 Anakites have gotten to his back line. I think his research isn't OP, and you can see why, because he brought 18... In 2022 in Dominions 5, I kind of feel like you really want to minimize how many mages you bring into a battle to keep your research up, which is bad for evocations. It means evocations are a bit weaker. And it's bad, of course, for evocation nations, including these Greeks. Whereas these guys who have basically no evocations, what does he have for mages? He has precious few. He has like 3. Yeah, he has that. 1 serious mage, 1 silly mage. 2 serious mages. 3 serious mages. So yeah, this guy rolled out, okay, there's a 4th. This guy rolled out with 4 mages and a shitster mage, whereas this guy rolled out with like fucking 12, 15, 20 mages. So that's why he doesn't have the research. But yeah, the Anakites just overwhelm the humans. I guess you need to get pretty high level with these Greeks to be able to take out an Anakite. They're both middle-aged as well, so that's a natural pairing. Alright, I'll see you guys next episode. I'm going to switch over to two turns an episode now because we're already getting quite in there. Ciao.